Hello and good evening, Star Wars fandom. We are back for episode 5 of Rangers of the New Republic, the fan podcast. I am Darth Zach, and I am here with my partner in crime,
the Space Wizard.
Well, Space Wizard, looks like Rangers of the New Republic done flown the coop.
Let's have a space in the chat. What do the gamers like to say? Room in the shout out in the chat for Gina Carano and the Rangers of the New Republic.
Well, I don't even know what's going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm because you get so many different streams of information coming out based on who is reporting it, what their faction or their partisan politics is inside of Star Wars, which it seems absurd. You would not think that there is partisanship inside of Star Wars. And I'm not talking about Democrats, Republicans.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Kathleen Kennedyites. I'm talking about Filoniites, Favreauites. For the most part, they seem to be on the same page, the Filoniites and the Favreauites. But not always. There's your I hate George Lucas people. Kind of like ISIS was to the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, like you guys have not gotten it done. And then there's other people who are always going to defend George Lucas. So there's a lot of partisanship. And when people post these rumor videos where they talk for 47 minutes about what Mark Hamill really felt when he was trying to warn us about blah, 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 blah.
The Last Jedi.
You know, in some cases, people can make a good case. But in other cases, people are just bullshitting with what their opinions are.
I think a lot of people, like you hit on, they want to make a 47-minute video to post onto YouTube, and they get paid for every commercial break that they have in their video. So, they run for literally 8 minutes to like 35, 40 minutes. And
which,
they ramble
to all
on about
the Star Wars YouTubers who make 8-minute videos, thank you very much. To all the Star Wars YouTubers who make 47-minute videos, go to hell. I hope you burn. Seriously, that sucks.
I don't want to sit there for 47 minutes hearing grown men cry about Kathleen Kennedy,
or hearing grown men just gossip about, why did they really fire
so-and-so said this, and so-and-so said that, and it's like, the other thing that you hit on is that there are definitely two sources of media on YouTube, and it's the people who are actually able to speculate accurately and tell us what's going on. And then there's the people who are just reactionary and they post on everything that they see, everything under the sun. Like, unfortunately, Gina Carano has been fired from Lucasfilm and Disney, and they used the term canceled. And when they did that, they said that they were not making any more Gina Carano action figures of her character, Cara Dune. They said she would not be in any other Disney Plus content. And then, about a month ago? Maybe 3-4 weeks ago?
Tell me.
Okay, so there was an action figure line called the Retro line, which is basically they make 5 points of articulation action figures based on the 1980 action figure line, and they released the Mandalorian wave. Well, of course, they had a Gina Carano action figure. So all of the YouTube I'm going to call them the YouTube misinformation media. Gina Carano's uncanceled now by Disney. And then because they also had the episode that she did with Bear Grylls for the Wild America or something like that episode. So all the people who glob onto every little bit of information that comes out, like, Gina Carano's uncanceled by Disney. And it's like, no, those things were already in production.
Yeah.
They know that people want to see these things or want to buy these things, and it would probably cost them more money to go through every single box of the shipment that came from Hasbro and say,
we got
throw to the wood chipper, so those things cost them money to make that stuff disappear too. So even though she's been quote unquote canceled, just because these things popped out doesn't mean that she's been uncanceled. They just don't know where else to put these things.
I'm not going to speculate on the politics of them canceling, because the only politics that we particularly have ever ventured into is Disney. Please stop doing business with the Chinese
Yeah.
Communist Party, because
Yeah.
Jedi values do not align with
Yes.
invading India, putting Uyghur Muslims in the concentration camps, selling Falun Gong ordnance.
Yeah.
So that's the only political thing we've ever strayed into. But as far as Gina Carano, or other things that people get into in Star Wars, we're not going to be fighting about that. We're not going to be arguing with people about that, because ultimately, I think it's really silly. And I know that people are so passionate about Star Wars, but I guess I'm just really fortunate. I have enough going on in my life outside of Star Wars that for me, Star Wars is not something that upsets me. It is not something that I read about and I get upset because I'm so emotionally invested in it.
Yeah.
Star Wars is still an escape for me, and there is some Star Wars content that I think is higher quality than others, and that's my cup of tea. That's not other cup of people's tea. I don't care. I just know I don't see them actually canceling the character Cara Dune. I see her popping up in comic books. I can see that happening, and in novels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just ways in which Disney would not have to compensate Gina Carano by using her likeness. But believe me, that character will change just enough so that you can still have the canon and not have to go into any contractual mumbo jumbo.
It basically means that she's not going to be in season 3 of The Mandalorian, and that her show that she was going to be the headliner in got canceled. I mean, it means that they have no job for her. They didn't like what she said, and I'm not going to get into what she said, but other people who work for Lucasfilm and Disney say something similar, and then they don't get fired, or they don't get disciplined.
Actually, the one thing that I would say is I'm not going to get into whether I agree or disagree with the reason for her quote-unquote cancellation. I will say it is strange how Lucasfilm and or Disney found her comments unacceptable and, I guess, cancelable.
Yeah.
But they haven't tried to cancel their relationship with the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah. They say one thing and then they practice their own.
Yeah, so anyway,
on
just trying to be a realist. I see the character surviving. For all we know, they might decide to bring back Rangers of the New Republic, just with different people. I don't know if they're going to have Blue and the other guy in the Rogue Squadron series, or if Blue and the other guy, I forgot what it is, the other X-Wing pilot in The Mandalorian.
The guy played by Dave Filoni?
Oh, is that the guy played by the other one? I just remember the Asian guy. Anyway, so that's the character.
Sorry, Dave.
Yeah,
we
sorry,
love you.
Dave. Hey, you know what, Dave? You do great work as a producer. I'm sorry that I don't know your face. Well, you know what? Dave doesn't know my face either, so I just stopped feeling bad. I literally just stopped feeling bad 5 seconds ago.
So, I mean, like,
I could see them trying to reboot Rangers of the New Republic, or I guess not reboot, but take it out of the grave at a future date, just with different characters.
Yeah,
because the point I was going
that I
with,
had heard
with
also
the
that
X-wing pilots that we do see in The Mandalorian, I don't know, and we could only speculate if those guys were going to be in Rangers or if they were going to be in the X-wing series or movie. or whatever.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. Also, frankly, I would have much preferred a general series like Rangers of the New Republic to a more specified focus like Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the miniseries or the movie idea, whatever. I get the feeling that it's going to change. But I like the X-Wing pilots as characters. I think all the pilots so far in the Star Wars universe have been pretty cool guys, whether they're good guys or bad guys. So I don't have any fears that the series would be relatable or anything like that. I would rather see something that's more about the Republic military or the New Republic military in general than just the X-Wing Rogue Fighter Squadron. The reason being, yes, we do hunger to see Rogue Squadron on screen because we have been dreaming about that crap since the 90s. The thing is, though, we have been pretty consistently getting X-Wing content or Rogue Squadron content since the early 1990s.
Yeah.
How many freaking Rogue Squadron books are there?
There's a ton of them.
There's a ton of
And
them, and then
there's
how
at
many
least 3 or 4
other
different authors.
other books about combat pilots from other Star Wars eras are there?
Not a lot. From like what are you talking like the prequels?
Yeah, like any Star Wars, it could be like the Legacy of the Force era. It could be from like the early prequel era.
Okay, well that's different. Like what I was talking about the prequels is like there's no Naboo Royal Air Force
Yeah.
pilots that are mentioned at all or put any specific use to. I mean, yeah, Legacy of the Force and this Yuzhan Vong and stuff like that. Yeah, there's squadrons upon squadrons upon squadrons, and you kind of see like Wedge Antilles, if I remember correctly, and his career and how he builds up from being an X-wing pilot to being a commander to being a general and all these other ranks in the military.
Yeah.
So you are able to follow Wedge Antilles from literally A New Hope to 20, 30 years in the future where it's past that.
One thing that I've seen in Star Wars that I really like, the first Darth Bane book, a huge chunk of the book itself, he is in the Imperial Army. Hey, what's sticking, dude? How you doing? Yeah, everything's good. We're just finishing up recording. Oh, gotcha. All right, cool. You have a great night, boss. Looks like one of the Rangers of the privatized New Republic has come and tried to shut down this podcast. How far in it are we?
We're like 12 minutes in.
12 minutes. That's hilarious. Okay. Oh, is he gonna hang out right there? And
I
do
think
static
he's
control?
going to favor. Yeah.
He's gonna favor. I'm trying like not to look as he drives away. I'm trying to just keep my head facing you.
Yeah, he's not leaving.
He's not leaving. No, there he is.
We're going to have to find a new location.
Yeah. All right, well, the Imperial Stormtroopers have gotten us. Hello and good evening. Welcome back for another episode of Rangers of the Old Republic, a Star Wars fan podcast. This is your co-host. Shit. I forgot my own name. The other thing, final note, I, Darth Zach, and the Space Wizard discussed a very delicate matter privately, and this is something that we are putting out there before the rest of the Star Wars fandom. We think that a lot of Star Wars fans will agree with us. We hope that a lot of Star Wars fans are going to stand with us. We're going to come out and say it, whether other Star Wars fans stand with us or not. Disney, in light of recent events happening in other parts of the world, specifically certain things happening, well, there's no other way to say it. We severely disagree with a number of things that the Chinese Communist Party is doing to people, especially the genocide in Xinjiang.
Yes.
It's not just a cultural genocide. It is a literal genocide too. They are executing these prisoners. They are harvesting their organs. The CCP did move 1 million Han Chinese men into the homes of recently single Muslim Uyghur women. It's state rape. Plus there's the subjugation of Hong Kong. Plus there's a war that they started with India. Plus the civilian militia that China has been sending to basically steal islands or steal territorial waters from other countries in the area like the Philippines. But especially the genocide. Listen, Disney, please stop doing business with the Chinese Communist Party.
Yes.
We are not telling you guys boycott Disney, even though other people are saying that. We're not saying boycott Disney. We're not saying boycott Star Wars. We're saying it is time for Star Wars fans to unite around the values of the Rebel Alliance.
Yes.
The values of these characters that we look up to as archetypes, because the Chinese Communist Party has become the empire. Like, the Chinese Communist Party is blowing up Alderaan. The Chinese Communist Party is enslaving the Wookiees right now. What they did in Hong Kong, they just dissolved the Galactic Senate in Hong Kong. They overturned that election. There is a genocide going on. We're not trying to say that America's so great and China is bad. This is specifically a beef with the Chinese
with the
Communist
politics
Party.
of the Chinese Communist
This is not
Party.
about Chinese people. We understand that the Chinese ethnic group has a history in this country
Yes.
going back to the 1840s, and there is
Yes.
no undoing that. Nobody's saying get rid of Panda Express.
No.
We like our orange chicken. We like our Asian populations down here in Southern California. We love and respect the fact that more Asians and Asian Americans are being included in Star Wars, because it was a joke in, what was it, Thumb Wars: The Phantom Cuticle. We're not space, but we all have British accents. Like, yeah, these old British men. So this is not about China is bad. This is specifically Disney. Please stop doing business with the Chinese Communist Party. Mulan fell flat on its face. You guys thanked the Chinese Public Security Bureau in the credits of Mulan.
Yes.
There's no taking that back.
They actually did filming in front of a concentration
in front
camp.
of concentration camps, yeah, and they thanked the public. I can never imagine any film studio thanking the Gestapo in the credits. So, Disney, we are Star Wars fans. We are your big dollar base. We understand there's probably a lot of Chinese kids having their parents buy them Baby Yoda, but Disney, you should also know, most of the Chinese movie market pirated Mulan. That's the thing that people don't know about the Asian film market. Piracy is much bigger in Asia than it ever will be here in the United States.
They have more stringent laws in
Oh
on that
yeah,
side
yeah,
of the
yeah.
world.
So
and trademark laws too.
Disney, you're not losing a big buck there. Please, Disney, stop doing business with the Chinese Communist Party. We will welcome whatever the next government of China is into the mix if they want to do business with you. But when has Disney ever had to make special arrangements with the U.S. Army?
Right.
To film, or when did George Lucas ever have to ask, government's permission? Well, maybe like Tunisia and stuff. You're going to other places. All right, cool.
Like the Middle East, and they need security.
But he did not have to kowtow to the politics of those countries. They were just thrilled that somebody was going to be filming there, and their tourism bureau could say something about
I could say this, though. My reaction to hearing about Mulan and where they filmed it, I wasn't going to pay $30 to watch that film on my computer.
No, not at all.
I voted with my dollars.
I haven't even watched the pirated version. I'm just not interested.
I'm not interested. If that's what they're willing to do, and they're willing to virtue signal about how people should act, and they're not going to follow through on their own line, people are people, and they have worth and dignity, and they're worth. They deserve dignity and respect, and so I wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah, same here. So Space Wizard and I are completely united, and we are asking other Star Wars fans to stand with us. But now that we have said this, there is no taking it back.
No.
We just got ourselves canceled in the People's Republic of China, which sucks because we actually have more of a connection to China than most folks. The Boy Scout Council that we worked for many years still has relations with China's scouting program, and Scouts of China, I don't know what the official name of their organization is, but Chinese Scouts has directly hired on a number of occasions people from the greater Los Angeles Area Council to go and work at Chinese summer camps, and many of our former coworkers have gone there. I got invited to go do that years ago. I just was not in the right place in my life where I could go work in another country for a couple of months, but I wanted to. And we had Chinese campers at our camp, and it was wonderful to have them there. They were great kids. The Chinese scouts were cool. The Egyptian scouts were cool. So again, this is not about Chinese people.
No.
We love Chinese people, and we want to believe, and we think that history will prove us right. We want to believe that a majority of the Chinese people who live in China do not agree with their government doing a genocide. We believe that they understand that it's happening, and they just know that because they're in a totalitarian country. And it has become totalitarian. This is not the 1990s China.
No.
where Americans could just go there and all these Chinese could become westernized and everything was cool. No, this is very different. So
they've become more and more.
they become the Galactic Empire.
Yeah, they have.
It was an Onion joke in 2019. There was an Onion headline that says China set to overtake the U.S. as the world's biggest asshole by 2020. And it was a fun joke. Today, it is not a joke. In 2021, it is not a joke. That really did happen. So, other Star Wars fans, just remember our position is we love Star Wars. We're not boycotting Star Wars, but Disney, our purchase decisions will be limited, severely limited even, and we'll just leave it there. But our support will have to be limited as long as Disney is doing business with the Galactic Empire, and we hope that Mark Hamill will speak out against this.
Yeah.
And we hope that George, your old man was in World War II. All right, you grew up with that. The whole Rebel Alliance. What you see in Star Wars, you see the values of America during World War II, and then a little bit of like the anti-Vietnam War sentiment.
Yeah.
Like the Rebel Alliance is kind of this like mix of American GI archetypes and a little bit the Viet Cong. Like we do have to kind of admit that the Rebel Alliance in Star Wars is basically the Viet Cong, but there is that anti-unjust war mentality, but pro-just war mentality that the Rebel Alliance embodies. So we're calling on people. Those are good values. The reason that those values and those characters resonate with us is not just because they're good characters, but they're good values.
Yeah.
So we are calling on other Star Wars fans.
And
let's embody the values of the Rebel Alliance.
To say, by the way, that, you know, if you hate Nazis and what they stood for and their xenophobic archetype of, you know, stomping out somebody because of the traits that they possess, then you have to ask the question of why the CCCP does the exact same thing.
Yeah, man, that's what's going. I've seen the photos of people getting unloaded off the trains. I've seen the photos and videos of the prisons. A lot of people have risked their life to get that video footage. This is a real thing, folks. The organ harvesting, that's all real. That is all real. So, Star Wars fans, please stand with us. You know what? Let's just make that declaration. As long as Disney is doing business with the Galactic Empire, who's doing that genocide, we are going to keep pirating the original unaltered trilogy.
Whoa. The CCCP is one thing, but Disney...
Well, the CCCP is the Soviet Union, but the CCP is the Galactic Empire for today. Although I will give Vladimir Putin, I will let him... He would probably be the Jabba the Hutt in this situation. Now, we're not trying to knock our Russian Star Wars fan brother. Our Russian Star Wars fan brothers probably agree with us. So we are not ever going to go into politics or current events as heavy as we just went in with that right now. But Space Wizard and I, Darth Zach, we got to make our position clear. We do not support what is happening over there in China, and we are asking Disney to stop feeding that beast with more money.
Yeah. And by the way, the abuses that they have towards the Uyghur people, those are not the only people that they persecute.
Yeah, a lot of people forgot about Tibet. Then there's the thing we watched in Hong Kong. Yeah, so it's bad. It's really bad. And just to be fair, I will also say I'm very critical of most of America's foreign military adventures. That said, as an ex-soldier, I know the difference between collateral damage and intentionally doing a genocide. There is a huge difference. We're talking night and day. It is not the same thing.
No.
The policy mistake of having a disastrous war in Iraq that killed a couple of 100,000 people is not the same as the CCP murdering 150,000 people every year and harvesting their organs for wealthy communists. It's wrong. So, Star Wars fans, we're sorry for the low note, but the Galactic Empire exists, and it exists in our lifetime. So, We're calling on all the Star Wars fans. Let's embody the values of the Rebel Alliance. Disney, please eliminate your business relationship with the Chinese Communist Party. And we are signing out.
May the Force be with you.
And also with you, Space Wizard.